Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
And the plot thickens as far as Minnesota goes. The Trump administration freezing all child care payments to Minnesota after the massive fraud that has been going on to the tune of up to $9 billion. Good morning, Dominic Carter here with you. Let's go ahead and open up the phone lines, 800-848-9222. So Minnesota, according to the Trump administration, has received $185 million in child care payments from the Trump administration this year. And the administration, you'll hear this in just a minute or so, declaring that the money will only be released when the states, meaning all the states, but in particular Minnesota, proves that it's being spent legitimately. And so you'll hear the officials making that announcement in just about a minute or so. But here we go already with the socialists as the leader of America's largest city. Tomorrow night this time, literally, Zohran Mamdani will be the mayor of New York City, officially the same time tomorrow night. And some of his appointments as of this hour are quite controversial. One, he has gone ahead with his appointment as chief legal counsel, a lawyer who represented an Al-Qaeda defendant. That's number one. His chief lawyer represented an Al-Qaeda defendant. Number two, he's tapped an educator by the name of Kamar Samuels to be the next New York City schools chancellor. Now, the reason why this is important on a national stage is because Kamar Samuels, as the incoming schools chancellor, he's been in the system for a while, but during his 6 years as a superintendent, he's promoted racial diversity. However, he has also chipped away at the gifted and talented program. And on one side, you have parents claiming that the gifted and talented program is racially biased. On the other side, the Asian American community stating it's how a lot of Asian American kids are able to get ahead. It is a controversial issue. And so during the campaign, Mamdani made clear that he wants to do away with the gifted and talented program. And so perhaps that's why he's gone with this educator. It's going to be very interesting to see in the days ahead how that plays out. But again, Mamdani appointing as chief counsel, a lawyer who represented an Al-Qaeda defendant. So, and you cannot make this stuff up, folks. 800-848-9222. But again, the big point, tomorrow night this same time, Mamdani will officially be the mayor of New York City. Let's get to the announcement coming from the Trump administration, officially freezing all child care payments for the state of Minnesota.
Hello, I'm HHS Deputy Secretary Jim O'Neill. I'm here with Assistant Secretary Alex Adams. Alex oversees the Administration for Children and Families. Intrepid journalists have made shocking and credible allegations of extensive fraud in Minnesota's child care programs. We believe the state of Minnesota has allowed scammers and fake daycares to siphon millions of taxpayer dollars over the past decade.
My office, ACF, provides Minnesota $185 million in child care funds each year. That money should be helping 19,000 American children, including toddlers and infants. Any dollar stolen by fraudsters is stolen from those children. Yesterday, I spoke directly with the director of the Minnesota Child Care Services Office. She could not tell me with confidence whether those allegations of fraud are isolated or whether there's fraud stretching statewide.
Today, we have taken 3 direct actions against the blatant fraud that seems to be rampant in Minnesota. First, I have activated our Defend the Spend system for all ACF child care payments across America. Starting today, we require a justification, receipt, or photo evidence before we make a payment. Second, I have just signed and sent a demand letter to Governor Walz. I required a full 360 review of these centers. This includes attendance records, licenses, complaints, investigations, and inspections.
And third, we've launched a dedicated fraud reporting hotline and email address at childcare.gov. Whether you're a parent, a provider, a member of the public, we want to hear from you. Let me be crystal clear. ACF expects every state to uphold the highest standards of oversight, monitoring, and accountability for federal dollars. Minnesota is no exception.
We're committed to holding bad actors accountable. Regardless of rank or office, anyone who's involved in perpetrating this fraud against the American people should expect to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law.
And so a new day appears to be coming from the Trump administration, and it's a good thing. I mean, I know this sounds overly simplistic, but we have to have accountability. And the last thing that's occurring in Minnesota right now is accountability. As to the independent journalist, the young independent journalist that has exposed all of this, Nick Shirley, one, he's claiming that there are numerous death threats on his life. And I want you to listen to this clip of Somalian, a Muslim American man who confronts this young journalist, almost badgering him. And it's incredible. Listen to this exchange.
How you doing, man?
I just want to ask you.
Yes, sir.
Why are you sensationalizing the propaganda?
What are we sensationalizing?
To attack our community. What's your final objective?
We're not attacking your community by any means.
Are you making good money from this?
We're looking for fraud.
No,
For instance, can you answer our question? Where's Safari Transportation Company 607?
1 second.
It's not there.
How much money are you? How much money are you making?
Dreamline Security.
How much money are you making
I
off
make money
of
off
this?
of YouTube. That's how I make my money.
Exactly. So you're making money off of sensationalizing.
That's my job.
And attacking the Somali community.
I'm not attacking you guys. We're asking.
I'll tell you the reason why this is happening. All right. Let me tell you the reason why you're attacking
fraud,
this.
Correct?
Yes.
This has nothing to do with race. This is fraud.
This is absolutely has to do with us being Muslim.
No, it does not.
All right, and us being from Africa. This is a constitutional argument. If you don't want us here, change the freedom of religion. Say, listen, we don't want Muslims in this country anymore.
We're not saying
no.
We're
because when I go onto your comments, when I go onto your comments,
my comments,
what I see is people that say we do not want Muslims here. Kick every single Muslim in Minnesota out of Minnesota.
That's a comment.
You're preparing for the Somali community to maybe be taken to concentration camps, just like the Japanese community. All right.
Okay, so you get it there. You see what is happening in terms of that man literally badgering this journalist, independent journalist, trying to do his job. And, I'm going to come back to Minnesota in just a second. We'll be taking your telephone calls in a moment. 800-848-9222. What's remarkable is how Democrats are handling this issue and the issue with illegals and on and on and on. I'm referring to Mayor Karen Bass, Los Angeles. What does Madam Mayor do? She goes on TV to declare that, and she's the mayor of L.A., she says it's sad that Latino Americans would become Border Patrol agents. This is the mayor of America's second largest city. Listen to what she actually said.
Well, in a way, I think it's sad. I think that those Border Patrol agents are going to have a difficult time when they're out in the field and they see what actually happens in real life, separate from their training. But I do understand that their primary incentive is financial. I think it just speaks to the financial situation that millions of Americans find themselves in. And I definitely am concerned about that report.
So that's the mayor of L.A. But, Madam Mayor, the reality is Latino Americans, Mexican Americans, they are signing up to work at ICE. Case in point, listen to this report from CNN.
I'm not going after my own kind, because my own kind will do it legally.
Born in Mexico, Agent Claudio Herrera first came to the U.S. as a student. He says it took him 11 years to become a citizen, and 6 years ago, he joined the Border Patrol.
I've been asked sometimes before in my past, aren't you ashamed of apprehending your own?
What do you say to
blood?
That? How do you answer that?
Of course not, because I'm protecting my community. My deepest advice to anybody that is coming from Mexico, we know that you want a better future for you and your family. But if you decide to do it illegally, you will only find jail or you will only find death.
We found that even with all the debate and tension right now around deporting migrants, interest in joining the agency has not necessarily dropped off. But most of the potential candidates we spoke with stressed that deportations are not what's attracting them to Border Patrol. Instead, they pointed to the new financial incentives, efforts to stop drugs from getting into the U.S., and what one candidate described as a job that means both enforcing the law and, as he sees it, helping migrants navigate legal pathways into the U.S.
Have it, that report from CNN. Let's go ahead and start with some of your telephone calls. I spoke to him earlier today for a short period of time. I want to speak to him right now. Teddy in Yonkers, line 3. Teddy, what's on your mind?
Hey, Dom. First of all, Happy New Year, you and your whole family. Hope
Same to you.
Sweet and healthy. What's going on in this country? I don't have words to describe it anymore, man. I mean, we got Mandami coming in here. I heard on the Rita Cosby show some of the things that he's talked about before that were really anti-Semitic, anti-Zionist, anti-everything related to Jews. And now he's coming in, he's trying to sweet talk and saying to protect Jews. And the people he's hiring, God forbid if he hires Bowman as the school's chancellor. That's not
going to happen. He's already hired someone else as school's chancellor.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear anything like that. Okay, that's good. And Dominic, with what's going on with Minnesota, words can't describe it. I mean, it's outrageous. I mean, the governor has to be involved in this. I mean,
Teddy, with all due respect, Teddy, with all due respect, that's ridiculous. It's an election year. Hochul cannot touch anything with Mamdani. If she does, she goes down in defeat. All she can do is take a passive approach. That's called modern day politics, unfortunately. Teddy, thank you for the call. I've got to take a break. I'm up against a break. We're going to do exactly that, folks. We see your telephone calls, 800-848-9222. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
This shrimp and coconut sauce is divine. What's your secret?
Goya coconut milk.
How does it taste so good?
It's all in that real coconut flavor and that rich, creamy texture.
What about thickeners and added sugars?
None. Just smooth, coconutty goodness.
What can I make with it?
From curries to sweet treats like coconut flan, the possibilities are endless.
Goya coconut milk. Take your cooking to the next level. No question about it. Find it in the Goya section of your local grocery store. If it's Goya, it has to be good.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
And we are back. Let's go to your telephone calls here. Let's see. Let's go to Joe in New Jersey, line 4. Joe, what's on your mind?
Yes, Dominic. What I don't understand is how could the government be so stupid to hand out millions of dollars like that and not follow through investigate? Because I know when I go to social services for something, they're all over my back. I have to prove I'm legit with papers. And I don't understand how the government put all that money out like that And it takes an independent reporter to find
Joe,
out
wait,
after 9 years.
Joe. When you say government, you have to specify what exactly do you mean, because that determines the answer that I give you.
Okay. The federal government gives them money to Minnesota, right?
Right. So that's easy to answer. That's easy. That's easy, and it explains what Nick Shirley did. The federal government turns the money over to the state. The state is responsible for compliance. The state is responsible for making sure that the services are carried out. That's why I asked, what do you mean by government?
Oh,
so
I see.
The feds give the money to the state gives the money to the organizations, and it's up to the state to make sure that the program is in compliance, to go out and make visits, to make sure that there are kids there, to make sure that there's the proper bathrooms, the proper spacing, and so on. So the Trump administration did what it's supposed to do. It's the state government that in this case, Minnesota, that completely dropped the ball. And that's why an independent journalist, this young independent journalist, Nick Shirley, was able to go in and do, frankly, what the state is supposed to do. Joe, thank you for the great call. Let's go to Clarence in Suffolk County, New York, line 5. Clarence, what's on your mind?
I really appreciate you guys enlightening me about who's responsible for checking these facilities, because you see the thing is these kids, they really need the attention and the money that they really need the money to take care of their lives. When you sit down and talk to a kid that try to communicate with a kid, your compassion goes out for them and the families. And I'm just wondering what New York is, how much of this is going on in New York State and Long Island.
But it's not just a question. It's not just a question, Clarence, of New York. It's a question for California. It's a question for Colorado. It's a question for every state. Now, again, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Exactly. I understand that part of it, but I'm just wondering what we are doing in New York to root this thing out and make it right.
Well, as far as we know right now, emphasis right now, the problem that exists in Minnesota does not exist in New York, as far as we know right now, because New York is a state where there are much stronger compliance, in which they check to make sure, they go out and make visits. So Minnesota, the question becomes, how did all of this slip through the cracks? It's a situation where it makes you wonder. There's no way that a government could have this go on and not know what was happening. Clarence, thank you for the wonderful call. We are taking your live calls, folks. It's Dominic Carter here with you. The number to reach us, 800-848-9222, 800-848-9222. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
And we see all of your telephone calls. We're about to get right back to them. But first, an update on yet another story. And we should always be thankful for law enforcement in this country. The FBI stopping yet another New Year's Eve terror plot. And this happened in Texas. And, when you think about what happened in New Orleans a year ago when that man drove that truck through Bourbon Street, horrible situation, law enforcement is on it.
Well, federal agents have arrested a Texas man for allegedly trying to help ISIS. The newly uncovered plot comes as DHS issues a warning urging people to remain vigilant during their New Year's Eve celebrations. Fox News team coverage now. David Spunt has more on the Trump administration's plan to step up security. But we begin with Brooke Taylor, live in Dallas on this Texas terror arrest. Brooke?
Hi, Jackie. Well, federal charges have been filed against this ISIS sympathizer here in Texas. So he's charged with trying to give bomb-making materials to an undercover FBI agent who was posing as an ISIS member. This investigation started back in October when an undercover NYPD officer flagged a social media account belonging to John Michael Garza Jr. The account followed several pro-ISIS pages and commented on ISIS posts. The undercover officer started talking with Garza, who described himself as a 21-year-old Mexican-American living in Texas. Over the course of 2 months, Garza sent ISIS media releases to the undercover agent, including videos of suicide bombings and instructional bomb-making videos. Prosecutors say he also sent small amounts of cryptocurrency to the agent, believing those funds would be used to buy guns and support ISIS. Last Monday, Garza agreed to meet a second person that he believed was an ISIS brother, but was really that FBI undercover agent. He allegedly handed over bomb materials to the agent and explained how to mix the chemicals. He was arrested shortly after that meeting and now faces a maximum of 20 years behind bars if he's convicted. Attorney General Pam Bondi sharing this statement, quote, ISIS's poisonous ideology must be ripped out root and stem. Anyone who tries to commit violence on ISIS's behalf will be found, arrested, and prosecuted. You cannot hide from us.
And so a situation, there's some sick puppies in the world or just poisonous people. And I am just personally thankful for law enforcement getting the job done, the FBI in this case out of Texas. Job well done. We see all your telephone calls, so let's go back to them. Let's go to line 4, Yetta in Manhattan. Good morning, Yetta. What's on your mind?
Hi, Dominic. Happy New Year.
Same to you.
I'm very, very glad that Ma'am Danny is getting rid of that gifted and talented program. It's very offensive. It's absurd. And
okay,
it's
whoa. Let's go one at a time. You said it's offensive. What makes it offensive?
Because all of the students have gifts.
Come on, Yetta. Wait, hold on. I know you have a long experience as a teacher, and you did a wonderful job doing so, educating children. Frankly, many at-risk children at times. But Yetta, as I'm listening to you, frankly, with all due respect, you sound like the type of person that wants to give a trophy to all the kids when all the kids don't deserve a trophy.
No, not a trophy. I think all children should receive enrichment that target their special needs, their special talents. So you can implement a program for gifted and talented right in an inclusion classroom. You don't have to isolate them.
Okay,
Just do it through enrichment.
But if sooner or later the kids are going to have to compete in the real world, and the gifted and talented program, you've had them at cities, minority communities, the black communities, the Latino communities. This happens all across the country, claiming that it's discriminatory against them. But what about the fact that many Asian kids are allowed to flourish and do quite well and go on to the Harvards and Yales of the world? It seems to me that you absolutely need a gifted and talented program.
Why can't those students be in regular classrooms and have their gifts targeted through enrichment in the classroom?
Okay, because the
it's
classroom
called an inclusion class.
Because the classroom is too big, number one, to begin with, and number two, the other kids can't keep up with the academic ability of the gifted and talented kids. So how could you have them in the same classroom?
But in no classroom do you have all the students on the same level. You have some
but at
students
least,
who
but
are
at
functioning
least
above level.
At least you're in the ballpark if all the kids in the gifted and talented program are in that environment of being gifted academically. At least they're in the same ballpark. You have some kids that not necessarily in a bilingual classroom that barely speak English. And you're going to have them in the same classroom with kids that are academically enriched that should be going on to the Harvards of the world? Doesn't make much sense to me.
Look, Dominic, you have to understand, I started teaching in 1968, and I retired in 2002. So I've been retired a very, very long time. Okay. But what I do know is when I was a teacher, we had what were called not homogeneous classes, but what did they call it back then? Heterogeneous? Something like that. I don't remember.
Okay.
But I had students on all different levels. I had some students who were reading way above level, some students who were reading on level, and some students who were reading below level. Some students who had special talents, and I learned to target
my
those
point
talents.
of why we need a gifted and talented program. You can't have
So
those
you're
kids
isolating those students because you think if they were in a regular classroom, their needs would not be met. But if you have a talented teacher who is qualified, she should know how to manage those children.
Okay. Now,
that
you
would be in a gifted
you just
and talented
acknowledged
class.
yourself that you haven't been in the classroom in a very long time. I don't mean
No,
this
I
to be
haven't.
offensive to teachers. Have you seen today's teachers?
No, I haven't. I haven't been in a classroom since 2002.
Right. I mean, they can barely keep their head above water, and they're supposed to be able to help gifted and talented kids get to the next. Bottom line, then I'll let this go because I have to move on. What's
Okay.
wrong? You said it's offensive. What's offensive about a gifted and talented program?
Because it's isolating children, calling them gifted and talented, when I think all students have special gifts and talents. And how do you
all
identify
kids are
which
not
students are gifted and talented?
I mean, okay, so
Based on what
let's give a
criteria?
pin. Let's give a pin to every. I got to move on, Yetta. We just
Okay.
disagree on this. So let's give a pin to every. This is what's wrong with America. What you just expressed, Yetta, and I have enormous respect for you as a teacher. But I know when it comes to education, your politics are far left. Because frankly, you have a lot more experience. I find the argument ridiculous. You know, you're going to put these kids have the ability. Okay, so kids that go to Brooklyn Tech, I'm using New York City as an example, the most elite schools, Brooklyn Tech, Stuyvesant, Bronx High School of Science, and you want to put them in the same class with kids that are barely making it, and the teacher is supposed to be able to teach those kids and teach the other kids, and then you have one or two that barely speak English in the classroom. That's not going to work. It's just not going to work. Let's go to Silas, line 1, Staten Island, New York. What's on your mind, Silas?
Yeah, I'm so glad. You know, Dominic, your journalist is really coming out here, and I'm so glad that you question things. You're going to find out how much money is being wasted here in New York. Because when you told that guy it's up to the states, that's exactly right. And look at all the blue states, including New York. You're going to find out just how much money is being wasted in New York. Do you think DeSantis would sit back and let his state just spend money willy-nilly and never look out?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
And do you see how fast the Republican Party not only drew George Santos under the bus, but actually put him in jail, yet we don't do anything against Ilhan Omar? That's because the Democratic Party does not want their cash cow being upset. There ain't one Democrat who said, let's question and look out and see what our own representatives are doing.
But
Ilhan
Silas,
Omar,
but I do think at this stage it's apples and oranges to compare George Santos and Ilhan Omar. Ilhan Omar, we believe, I strongly believe she's committed wrongdoing, financial wrongdoing, but she's not accused of anything yet. Mr. Santos embarrassed the entire Congress, lied nonstop. He had to go. But go ahead, Silas.
True. That's right. He had to go. And look at how many Democrats have to go, but there ain't one Democrat who will stand up. Like you said, with Hochul. Hochul wouldn't dare do anything to upset Mandami because she's afraid of they will turn on her so fast, her own party, if she does anything to upset him.
To be honest with you, I think I'll go a step further. I think that Mamdani is one step already away from turning away from her. He's looking for a reason to turn away from her.
There you go. You got that right.
And he's the one that's just elected. It's remarkable. Silas, I'll give you the final word before I move on.
Okay. He has no intention of doing anything correct, and all he's going to do is what he was set out to do: tank our system and bring socialism to New York. That's what he is going to do his best to get done. He can't. I'm going to have signs saying, "Where's my free stuff?" because nothing he said was going to be free is ever going to be free.
You can say that again. Let the church say amen. Silas, thank you for the call. Let's go to line 4. Charles in Woodbridge, New Jersey. Charles, what's on your mind? Charles, you're listening on delay. Please, I'm going to give you one more try and then I'm moving on. Charles, are you with me? Okay, Charles is not with me. Let's go to line 3, Timothy. Folks, let me just say this. Please, if you're calling, don't listen on the radio because there's a delay on the radio of 30 seconds. So when I go to you, if you're not paying attention on the phone, you're not going to know I'm going to you like that last caller, and then you're going to miss your spot. Let's go to Timothy in Brooklyn, New York, line 3. What's on your mind, Timothy?
Right here. Happy New Year, sir. Number 1. Number 2, all the best to you and your family. I pray that Tammy is doing much better. And I'm so glad that the president is shutting down this border and getting rid of all of these illegals. And I'm also glad that he's doing what he's doing in Somalia because it's a doggone disgrace. And to close it, I don't agree with everything that Ms. Hedda just said because I feel that, like you said, you cannot give all these kids a trophy. Life does not work like that in the real world.
At all.
They have to learn what it's like to fall on their feet. Fall on their face a little and get back up. We agree.
But maybe you know what, Timothy? Maybe that's the educator in Yetta that they want to believe that but it's ridiculous to think that all kids are going to excel, especially at a gifted and talented level, because based on that argument, all should have an opportunity to go to Harvard. That's ridiculous. Or go to an Ivy League school.
Nope.
It's either you cut it or you don't. It's that simple.
Or you don't. Thank you. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the telephone call. Let's now go to line 1, Vincent in Brooklyn. Vincent, what's on your mind?
Dominic, I think the federal government has to audit the books of not only these governmental programs like they were doing in Minnesota, but all of the anti-poverty program, because I worked for one about 60 years ago. It was funded by the president, federal government. It was community-based. And after I left, it was in the 60s, they arrested all the managers for fraud. They were robbing the money. They were cooking the books.
Okay, well, the federal government, the Trump administration, they're doing their part of the job. Again, it's up to the states. Now, maybe this will change. I don't know. But it's up to the states to carry this out.
Yeah, you're 100% right. You're 100% right, Dominic.
So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I'm convinced that the Democrats, from Keith Ellison, the Attorney General, to Governor Dum Dum, Tim Walz, that they were looking the other way intentionally for block votes. Thank you for the call. Let's go to Mike, line 5, St. James, New York. Mike, what's on your mind?
Hello, Dominic. The $1 billion that disappeared in the de Blasio administration, you think that could have been under similar conditions? Because
no, I don't even know. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't buy that. One host pushed that in particular. What I do know, I go on facts. I don't go on speculation or theory. The administration, the former First Lady, she could not account for specifically where the money went. I'm under the belief that if the money was missing, like if $800 million just disappeared, the feds would have indicted somebody. But who knows? Mike, thank you so much for the call. Time for a break. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in more places that could expose you more to identity theft. But LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our U.S.-based restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Don't face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or financial losses alone. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
Tomorrow, this time, a socialist mayor will be the leader of New York City, a socialist for the very first time. Right this very second, Mamdani have been the mayor for almost an hour. And during the campaign, one of his core campaign promises was to do away with the longstanding gifted and talented program for kindergarten students of the New York City public school system. And he's named a schools chancellor by the name of Kamar Samuels. And guess what? He wants to do away. His track record is doing away with the gifted and talented program. I think it's wrong. I think it's discriminatory to do away with the program. You've got to have a way for kids that are the leaders of tomorrow to excel. You have to have a way. And Mamdani also named as chief counsel, and this is incredible, a lawyer who defended an Al-Qaeda suspect. This is who the man named as chief counsel. Back to your telephone calls. Dominic Carter here with you. Pete, line 1, New Jersey. Pete, what's on your mind?
Hi there, Dominic. Of course, everybody knows that we have to have an advanced advanced class. We all know that. But I believe that one of the very worst things that can be done to a young person's mind and character is to tell them and condition them with this term, gifted and talented. If they are gifted and talented, that will speak for itself. But to use that term, it develops a brat and a presumptuous brat.
No, that's not true. That's not true. I mean, if I can understand your broader point of stating that, because you're right. We got either you're gifted and talented or you're not. And it's going to show in the exams. There's a reason. Now, then we can go on forever, because then there are those in the minority community that will say the exams are biased and so on. At some point, we got to use some credible measure to measure a kid's success. But I don't see, Pete, how if you tell your kid they're gifted, there should be some positive affirmation for your children. Yes. But how is telling them that they're gifted, how is that making them a brat? I mean, if they're not gifted, you shouldn't tell them that.
It's that institutionalized term, gifted and talented. That's what I'm referring to. Mm-hmm. So that's my speech, and thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. Let's go to line 4, Rocco, Staten Island. What's on your mind, Rocco?
How you doing, Dominic?
Good. Go right ahead, please.
I have an 8-year-old daughter who is in a gifted and talented program in New York City. She's on a 6th grade level of reading, does math at a 5th grade level, smarter than my other two, who my son, who's now in 7th grade, went to a blue ribbon school on Staten Island, scored just this year better than 85% of the nation. And you're telling me that gifted and talented isn't a good thing? These kids are getting a quality education. It's about the teachers doing the right job.
No.
Which most of them live in
Rocco,
Jersey.
I agree with you, but I think the argument from the other side is, what about the rest of the kids? There's no doubt the ones in gifted, talented program, they get the best of the best. But what about the majority of children? That's the issue.
Well, the majority has to perform better, and it starts with the teachers who don't care, who are looking at their phone all day, worried about getting home in traffic because they all live in Jersey. Because in New York City, you have to be a city resident to be a police officer, fireman, sanitation worker, work for DEP, sewage treatment. But to be a teacher, they pick because you have a bachelor's degree and college education. I graduated high school 2002. I didn't go to college. I went straight to work. I work for a municipality. I'm a 4th-generation city worker. I have a lot.
No, I hear you, and I respect that. I really do, Rocco, and I wish your kids well in the gifted and talented program. So the teacher Yetta, who's retired, she's a kind of we are the world type person. I like her. I just think she's dead wrong. We have to have a gifted and talented program. I'm back 3 p.m. Eastern.
Thanks for listening to The Dominic Carter Show. You can hear The Dominic Carter Show weekdays at 3 p.m. and Monday through Thursday at midnight and Sunday starting at 11 p.m. on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?
Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.